The table shows the time that a number of students took to complete an exam. 62 students took between 11 and 20 minutes to finish the exam. 88 took between 21 and 25 minutes to complete the exam. And going to the end, 10 students took between 46 and 60 minutes to complete the exam. Our problem is to estimate the median time taken. We can only estimate this because from the table we don't know the exact times that each student took to finish the exam. The median time taken is the time that the middle student would have taken if we arranged the students in order of time. In order to solve the problem, we must first calculate the cumulative frequencies. 62 students took less than 20 minutes. Actually, we would have to say 20.5 minutes as the boundary between these two classes. So the first cumulative frequency is 62 minutes. Another 88 students took between 20.5 and the upper boundary 25.5 minutes. So the next cumulative frequency will be 62 plus 88, which is 150. Carrying on in this way, our cumulative frequencies are easily calculated. And now we see that there must have been 200 students, and therefore the median time must have been the time that the 100th student took to finish the exam. Looking at the cumulative frequencies, we can see that the 100th student must have been somewhere in this class here. Let's call the time that the 100th student took X minutes. What we can now say in terms of ratio is that the ratio of x minus 20.5 to 25.5 minus 20.5 is the same as the ratio of 100 minus 62 to 150 minus 62. This gives us an equation for calculating the median. All we have to do now is simplify this equation and then get the value of x. And this gives us a value of 22.7 minutes. So to summarize, there are three stages to estimate the median. First of all, calculate the cumulative frequencies. Divide the total frequency by 2 and locate the median class. Call the median value x. Identify the class boundaries. And then write down the fraction where LCB is the lower class boundary, UCB is the upper class boundary, LCF is the lower cumulative frequency for that class, and UCF is the upper cumulative frequency for the class, and TF over 2 is the total frequency divided by 2, which in this case was 100. We now need to estimate the lower and upper quartiles of the times the students took to complete the exam. The lower quartile is the time that 25% of the students took less than, or 75% of the students took more than. So we need to calculate a quarter of the total frequency and then locate the lower quartile class. A quarter, or 25% of 200, is 50, and so the lower quartile is in the first class, and we can call it X. We can then use the same operation as we did for the median. Identify the class boundaries, and then use the fact that the ratio of X minus 10.5 to 20.5 minus 10.5 is the same as 50 minus 0 to 62 minus 0. And so we can write down the following fraction. We can then simplify this fraction, and from there we can calculate the value of the lower quartile as 18.6 minutes. Now need to calculate the upper quartile time. The upper quartile time is the time that 75% of the students took less than, or 25% of the students took more than. So we need to calculate 3/4 of the total frequency, and from that value locate the upper quartile class. However, 3/4, or 75% of 200, is 150. And this is actually on the boundary of these two classes. So our value of the upper quartile is the boundary between the two classes, and therefore is just 25.5 minutes.